listen, I'm just telling you right now, I'm already starting. So here we go. Right now, I am starting. Okay? So again, there was some concern yesterday. We got, if I'm not mistaken, we got up to like 23. So I want to go through the odds and I want to see how you did for yourself. All right? And again, I just feel like I gave you some hints yesterday. Every time you solve a quadratic, it has to be set equal to 0. What are you doing? Yeah, here. You're right. Come on, let's go. All right. So for question number 25, I believe is where we left off. It is already set equal to 0. All right? And it's already factored for you. So everybody should be able to write 2x minus 5 equals 0. 3x minus 1 equals 0. So x is equal to 5 over 2. Or x is equal to 1/3. So pull it up and make sure that's what you got for 25. Well, you see your mistake then, right? Perfect. Yes. That'd be a great idea, Hubble. Hurry up, please. All right, I'm already doing work. Okay, now on question number 27. All right, question number 27. All right, that should be a pretty easy one to factor. So we're factoring that into x minus 9 and x plus 2. So x minus 9 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. So x is equal to 9, or x is equal to negative 2. Any issues? All right, moving on to 29. Difference of squares. So that's x plus 5, x minus 5. So x plus 5 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. So x equals negative 5. Or x equals 5. Now let me show you how you can write that. All right. X is equal to plus or minus 5. X is equal to plus or minus 5. All right, that's just kind of a shorthand notation. Bless you. All right, any questions with number 29? All right, moving forward. Question number 31. All right, now the first thing you should try to look at here to help yourself is 4 and 9 makes what? 13. Does everybody see what I'm getting at? Right? So instead of using 2x and 2x, you could start out with what? 4 and 1. That's how you're supposed to be thinking about it. So here we have 4x and x. And then 9 has to go on the left, because if I put it on the right, there'll be 36. So I have to put 9 on the left, 1 on the right, and they're both negative. Everybody comfortable with that? And so now 4x minus 9 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0. So x is equal to 9/4, or x equals 1. Come on, double check yourself. Everybody good? All right, now what's the problem with number 33? It's not set equal to 0. So the first thing you have to do is set it equal to 0. So 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Everybody good with that? And now factoring 2x and x. 3, where does the 3 go? On the left. And 2 has to go on the right. 3 and 4 makes 1. If 4 is what? And 3 is? There you go. So now 2x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. X equals 3 over 2, or negative 2. Now, those of you guys who struggled a little bit on the last test with the factoring, now's your job to make sure you're understanding what I'm doing. You're supposed to be getting better. All right, does anybody have any questions with the factoring yet? Any questions with the factoring? Yes? Okay, good. All right. Next, number 35. This one should be a little bit harder because 12 has possibilities. All right, it could be 4 and 3, it could be 2 and 6. All right. But listen now. 4x and 3x. Now I want 35, right? Yeah, I hope what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to see now 35 is kind of big. So I need 8 to go here. Does everybody see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to show you. So we shouldn't have to be just guessing and checking every time. All right, if you're just guessing and checking, you're not doing a good enough job yet. All right, you're supposed to say I need 35. So if I put an 8 there, look, that gives me what? 32 and what? If they're both, there you go. Come on, guys, that's how you should be thinking about it. All right, now it's equal to 0. So now 4x minus 1 equals 0, 3x minus 8 equals 0. So x is equal to 1/4 and x is equal to 8/3. Everybody pretty happy with that? Wow, we got big problems on 37. And I was expecting some of you guys to go, well, I'm not sure how to do it, so maybe I can look this information up. What do I have to do, Reed?
So you have to multiply backwards. So
Yes, that's exactly right. Hold up. Let me explain it just to make sure somebody didn't see that. You're supposed to take that. You got to multiply that together first. All right, the reason why we have to multiply that together first is because is it set equal to 0? No, it's not. So I'm going to have to add the 30 over there. But I can't add the 30 because it's multiplied first. So when I multiply that, now look, everybody up here, I want you to be mental math on this. Look up. Everybody, come on. Everybody should be able to look at that and say that's x squared plus 5x minus 24. Right? Because you're visualizing what? You're visualizing this right here, just to make sure. You're visualizing this multiplied together, and you're visualizing this multiplied together. All right, you should be able to visualize that now. Is everybody okay with that? All right, so this right here can be written as x squared plus 5x minus 24 equals negative 30. Everybody see that? Right? Any issues with that? All right, what? Come on, look right here. Tell me how much that is. Negative 3x. How much is that? So negative 3x and 8x is 5x. Anybody have any questions? What?
How do you write on the wall? Yeah.
It's honestly the screen.
But
All these
you're
writing.
writing on the wall, and how does it recognize that you're writing? It's not like
It's this machine. That's what this is.
It's
All the technology is run through this Epson, and so you can just.
Whoa.
So actually, the Epson is mirroring my finger.
The future.
It is pretty amazing. All right. All right. So here we go. Now let's just go ahead and finish, please. Here we go. Hold up. Hold up. So it became x squared plus 5x minus 24 equals negative 30. All right. Now you understand what I mean. It's still not equal to 0, so now I have to add 30.
Positive 6.
X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Come on now. This is the only one that I feel like should have given you any trouble, really. Something like this, where it's a little bit different. It's not set equal to 0. So now you understand, if you didn't know how to do it, all you have to do whenever you have a quadratic is find a way to figure out how to set it equal to 0. All right? And now you have to go back to what? Factor this into x plus 2, x plus 3. And so x plus 2 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0. So x equals -2 or x equals -3. Everybody good? All right, now let me show you something else real quick. Now, before you say something, think about if I were to take -2 and plug it in here and here, what would my answer be? Shh. Come on, you're not listening. If I were to plug -2 in for x, what would my answer be? Of course, it would be -30. All right? If I were to plug -3 in, my answer would be what? -30. All right? Is everybody with me on that? All right, any questions? All right, let's check out the end. All right, so now what I want to do is we're just going to go and work backwards. Start on 38. All right, because the other evens are kind of easy. I want everybody starting on 38. I want to watch and see what you're doing. Let's go. Come on, 38. All right, trying to make it a little bit hard. Remember, the objective is to set it equal to 0. Set it equal to 0. Come on, put some thought into it. Good job. Very good. All right, some of you are definitely heading in the right direction. Some of you guys need to think about what I said. Listen, is it set equal to 0? No. Can I just move the x squared into 6? No, I can't yet because I have to distribute the x first. Come on, you have to distribute the x first. All right? Now, when you do that, you're going to get what? 3x squared plus x equals x squared plus 6. Is everybody good with that? Now you have to set it equal to 0. So now make sure you understand this because it's not necessary to write this step. You should be able to look at that and just say what? 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Is everybody saying that? Any questions? What? Good for you. Because remember, this is a what? A 1x squared. So I subtracted 1x squared. All right? Now, that one's easy to factor now. Okay? So when we factor that, 2 sets of parentheses equals 0, 2x, x. Now for 3 and 2, where does the 3 go? Left. 2 has to go on the... Very good. So now it's going to be 2x what? Minus 3, right? And the reason that's minus because remember, this -3 and that's +4. Everybody good? Everybody good? All right. So now from there, 2x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. So x is equal to what? 3 over 2, or x equals -2. Any issues? All right. Wow. 36 is a pain. Why is it a pain? Lots of possibilities, right? Is it equal to 0? Yeah, so it's just factoring. All right, let's go. Let's see how fast you can factor that one. That was kind of hard to factor. We'll walk around the room. Let's go. Want to see what you're doing. Guessing and checking should be getting better. Well, hustle, hustle. Let's go faster. All right, here we go, guys. Some of you guys are getting really fast. All right. Again, it's practice. That's all it is. Being very good at factoring just requires practice. All right. What was it? No, tell me what the factors are.
Oh, 8x minus 3.
8x minus 3 and
2x plus 9.
2x plus 9. Negative 6 and 72. Beautiful. That is correct. All right, is that kind of annoying, right? It is kind of annoying. But after a while, you start seeing the numbers better. All right? Very, very good. Okay? So now, 8x minus 3 equals 0. That's a necessity. 2x plus 9 equals 0. That has to be written down. All right? And then from there, x is equal to what? 3 over 8. And x is equal to negative 9 over 2. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Let's check out, 34 is a really simple one. Really, really simple. Some of you could be able to look at that and probably tell me the answer is what? What?
X equals negative 7. X equals x equals 7.
Right. So you could have just said x equals plus or minus 7. All right. But for us here, guys, x squared minus 49 equals 0, parentheses, x plus 7, x minus 7. So x is equal to plus or minus 7. I'm okay with that. Anybody have any issues with that? All right. Okay, 32. 32. All right, Virginia, what do I need to do on 32? That's right. So how do I do that? So it's going to be x squared what? And now remember, you're moving both of them, right? Yes. You see how simple that is. So that's a mental thing, right? You're just picking up these two and moving them to the other side. Now remember, you also want to try to keep it in order, right? So it would be x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. Is that good? All right. You guys can do that one. Uh-oh. Everybody look at 30 real quick. Somebody tell me about 30. Somebody tell me about 30.
2 A's.
Yes, GCF. So if you want to put a little note to yourself on the side, GCF. GCF. So he said the greatest common factor is 2A, open parentheses. What would it be?
Be A minus 4.
Beautiful. That's it. All right. And then you can solve it from there. All right. Let me see if there's anything else hard. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at 26. Is that one really easy or really hard? Really easy because it's already what?
Factor.
How many answers are there?
3. 1.
We have a 1, a 2, and a 3.
3.
Definitely 3. Why is it 3? Because there are 3 how many x? Yes. Does everybody agree? Right? So the first factor, we would say x equals 0. Then we'd say 4x plus 1 equals 0. Then we'd say 7x minus 8 equals 0. All right. 24, that's super what? Come on, stay with me. In a minute, I'm going to let you go. 24 is super what? Super easy. 22, easy. Uh-oh. 20. How many solutions? 4. There are 4 solutions here. So what am I doing with 20? How do I factor that, someone?
X squared and x squared.
Yes, x squared and x squared. So it's going to be x squared, and then what?
9 and 1.
9 and 1.
Negative.
Negative. Now what?
Now you can factor both of them.
Factor both of those. So that's going to factor into good. Now you can see where all of the zeros are coming from. So now x is equal to plus or minus 3, comma, plus or minus what? 1. That's kind of the notation that we use. Is everybody with me? Now look, remember what I told some of you guys who are trying to do better, much better. If you're not asking me, I can't help. Everybody's good, right? Any questions? Any questions on 20? All right, here we go. Let me just continue scrolling down. That should be easy. Ooh, 16.
Factor by grouping.
Factor by grouping. Factor by grouping. All right, so here we go. Two sets of parentheses here. What's common? A.
X minus 4.
X minus 4. Now be careful.
-3.
You're factoring out a -3.
X minus 4.
X minus 4. Okay. Now what's common?
X minus 4, A minus 3.
Good. X minus 4 times A minus 3. So now, guys, come on. We're big now. X equals what?
+4.
Or?
A equals +3.
Good. Now, does everybody understand? I'm not putting in this step right here because I'm what? Lazy. All right. If you can do that, I'm with you. Does everybody agree with me? Right. Everybody in here, if you can't solve a two-step equation in your head, we're in a little bit of trouble. Does everybody agree? Right. So on the test, if you want to make 100, it might be a good idea to write that step in there for some of you guys who make silly mistakes. All right. Did everybody see what I did there, right? Everybody understand me? I'm just really care about your what? I just really care about your answer. All right, so if you leave out that step, I'm not going to be mad. Just make sure you get the right negative. All right, make sure you solve it properly. All right, let me see if there's anything else more difficult. Uh-oh. Yep, we need to look at 14. What do we have to do on 14? Tell me. Factor a negative, correct? And when you factor a negative, this -2 becomes a what? +2. Come on. Now, here's the time where some of you might go, well, this is what I missed on my test, so I'm not 100% comfortable. Is everybody okay with me changing that to a plus? Then the 7 becomes a what? And the x becomes a? Exactly. Now, we're going to go ahead and rewrite it because I want you to see it. 3x times x minus 7 plus 2 times x minus 7. So now what's common? X minus 7, parentheses, 3x plus 2. So now what does x equal? Or?
-2.
Yep, don't make silly mistakes or you shouldn't leave the step out. Any questions or concerns with that? All right, let me find something else fun. Uh-oh. What do I want you to do on number 8? What do I want you? Divide by. Now remember, you can factor out a 3, but sometimes it's confusing because there's no variable. So if there's no variable involved, you're just dividing by what?
3.
Dividing by 3. So that becomes x squared plus 11x plus 10 equals 0. And go about your business. Okay, number 2 is kind of a pain. Do you agree? Because there's lots of options. All right, now look, guys. I think that's perfect for me today. I showed you how to do everything. And all you have to do now is be good at what?
Factoring.
If you are good at factoring, you will get 100. If you are not good at factoring, the test is going to be impossible. All right, so we have tomorrow to make sure you're good, and then everybody's going to get 100 on Friday. All right, you got to know how to do the factoring. Please, all the ones that were different, that required something more than just factoring, you should go highlight and double check that you know how to do that. Is everybody with me? All right, please make sure you finish that up. All right, very good job. All right, and we still have, what is it, like 14 or 15 minutes. All right, so get it done. All right, in class, 14 minutes. All right, a minute a problem almost.